Hey everybody, Pastor Jared here, and tonight is going to be a little bit different. I have a brief thought of devotional that I want to give to you at the end, but the majority of the time I want to spend by giving you a report and letting you know sort of what the plan is going forward for our church when we're looking to gather again, and hopefully just putting all this information out in one big chunk at the beginning will eliminate as much confusion as possible. And so there's going to be trickling out information. I'm going to have graphics on social media and website and little pieces of information and signs in different places in our building. But right now, since we're a couple of weeks out, I want to go ahead and just put all the information out there on the front end so that you can plan. So our target date to return to worship on campus is May 24th. That's a Sunday, so May 24th is the target tentative date because we're reacting to variables that are happening in the world. That's why I say tentative. So I appreciate all your flexibility with that date, knowing that we are keeping an eye on how things are going in our city. Things seem to be relatively steady right now, although they just opened up a lot of things about a week or two ago. So if something is going to happen as far as an outbreak is going to occur, we should be seeing that within the next week or 2 weeks. And so that's why May 24th is really a date that I'm comfortable with, because it's far enough out after the opening time to give a solid week after the incubation period to really know whether this thing is headed in a bad direction or whether it's stabilized. So that's the plan for now. If something changes, let me just say on the front end, if something changes, if the number of cases drastically increases, we can quickly move that date backward. So I just think it's really important that as a church, we have something on the calendar that we plan towards, that our scheduling can plan towards, that we can have our campus prepared and manicured and looking ready to receive guests. So that's the dates right now. What makes this sort of a difficult decision, I guess you could say, is that there are 3 variables that I want to note in front of you. Things that make this a bit of a moving target. So number one is that our media reporting has not been extremely reliable. So depending on what media you watch, we don't really know what to believe right now, because we are seeing our media go into 2 different camps on a lot of the issues that are in front of us. And so they're sort of selectively reporting things. And so really we don't even know what to believe anymore. Maybe you've been frustrated like me, where you wanting the news to just give it to you straight, and it seems like there's always an agenda hidden somewhere. So that's one filter that we have to look through, is knowing that there's a lot of agenda in the media as it's being portrayed to us, no matter what side it's coming from. The second variable is that, like I said earlier, we are watching as phase 1 becomes phase 2 in the governor's plan to reopen Texas. It's possible that phase 1 does not go well, which we are in phase 1 right now. It's possible phase 1 does not go well, and that we stay in phase 1 or we go back to before phase 1. So we're watching that. We don't know what's going to happen, but phase 2 is coming in about a week, and if nothing happens negative, then we'll go into phase 2, and I think that's a much more comfortable place to be. So we're looking at that. And then number 3 variable in this situation is that as we return to church and normal life, different people are going to have different comfort levels. So you've got people out there on a range of their comfort, as far as this side of the spectrum is this whole thing is a hoax. It's not real, and it's no one's getting sick, and I'm gonna go out in public and lick the picnic tables for all I care. So you've got that. And then on the other side, it's I don't know if I'm ever coming outside again. So most people live somewhere in the middle of that. But as we return, you're going to see people interacting that have a variety of beliefs and comfort levels about how the proper response is to this. So I do appreciate all your flexibility. I'm trying to appeal to our church family. And so will May 24th be 100% normal? That's probably the next question to ask. Will it be business as usual on May 24th? The answer to that is no, it will not be. And here's what I mean by that. So we are gathering at the 11 o'clock morning service only on that day. So what that means is childcare, breakfast, and Sunday school will not be happening. So we will not have childcare provided in any capacity. We will not have a morning breakfast before Sunday school, and we will not have Sunday school on campus. Sunday school teachers, about half of you have been holding classes digitally through different avenues like Zoom. That is still going to happen for a couple of weeks. And so you're welcome to continue doing what you've been doing. And the reason, the rationale for those three things not happening is because we want to prevent people from being in close quarters with one another in a small room. So our sanctuary is large, but Sunday school rooms are not. Children's rooms are not. The smaller fellowship hall is not. So we're not going to basically break our own social distancing guidelines by requiring people to cram into a small room together. So those things, childcare, breakfast, Sunday school, even Sunday night, we're going to delay those and watch a bit longer on those. And hopefully in June they can return, but we're going to keep more of a distant approach on that. So the goal again with that is not to cram people into small rooms where you're forced to breathe each other's air a lot. Okay, so that's the goal with that. With our service, our 11 o'clock service, here's some things that are important. All the basic precautions are going to be encouraged. So what I mean by that is there will be hand sanitizer available. There will be complimentary masks available, though we would ask if you want to bring your own mask. They'll probably be better than the ones that we have purchased in mass, but you are welcome and encouraged to bring your own mask and wear it from home. Now, I will say with that, we're not going to force people to wear masks. So you might have been wondering that. Are we going to have some guy, walking around, bouncing people if they're not wearing masks? And the answer to that is no, we're not going to do that. So you need to know if you do come and you have a mask on and it's important to you, you may interact with people that don't feel the same way and don't have a mask on. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. We're not going to enforce that as far as removing people or asking people to turn away at the door if they don't have a mask. We're not going to check temperatures at the door. This is going to be a voluntary basis. If you can come and you want to come and wear a mask, we're going to encourage that. Nobody's going to make fun of you if you're wearing a mask. Nobody's going to make fun of you if you're not wearing a mask. Okay? Deal. Our greeters are going to change their practices. So we are going to have greeters still at our doors saying hello to people, but they're not going to touch the doors. We'll prop the doors open. They're going to have masks on themselves. Bulletins are not going to be handed from person to person. They're going to be sitting out for you to grab. And similarly, the offering plate is not going to be passed around for everyone to touch. You can give either online as you have been doing, or we'll have a drop box available at the exit doors as you leave for the day. We're going to ask that you not shake hands and hug, and we're going to ask that you do continue to respect sort of the 6 foot distancing guidelines. Again, nobody's going to come around and shame you if you don't. I'm just asking you to think other people may not have the view that you have on this, so let's try to respect everybody and their views on that. We're going to ask that if you would please sit with your own family unit and try your best to distance from people around you. We happen to have a very large sanctuary compared to the number of people that attend, so I think we can probably seat between 400 and 500 people in our sanctuary. If it's full, we normally have around 150 on a normal Sunday. So we're going to have plenty of space if you decide to use all those corner spots that we don't normally take up. So please spread out for those first couple of weeks that we do return. Now here's another important component of this. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm advising you. Senior adults and children and at-risk people with immune issues or with health concerns, you may seriously want to consider waiting a couple extra weeks before returning with this first initial wave of May 24th. Nobody's going to think you didn't come to church, right? We all understand what this is. And so if you want to take some extra time it is completely fine. And no one is going to think less of you. We know how this virus has tended to work, is that it has targeted the most vulnerable first. So would certainly understand that. Now, because of all of these precautions that we're taking, there will still be an online component of our worship, as has been in the last couple of months. So I'm going to try to keep as much as I can without dying of exhaustion. I'm going to try to do a little bit of both, where we still have what's in person, but I also do release something to you online that's of the similar quality that you've been accustomed to during the pandemic, because if you want to stay home, I want you to be able to stay home and not feel like you're missing somehow. So I'm going to do my best to keep an online component available to you there. So that's all the information I have. I probably forgot something, so don't be surprised if I release some info after this. But I want to thank you for being flexible in all of this. I mean, thank you for not picking me apart. These are always difficult decisions. Everything you do feels like a lose-lose. So thank you for going along with the leadership of our church, and I certainly appreciate that, for being flexible. My goal has not been, by golly, we're going to be the first church back to meet, and that's not been my desire. At the same time, I don't want to overly be precautious and just, sit the whole summer out and see what happens. I think we can look at the data, look at what's going on, and make the best judgments that we can. So thank you for that. Now I want to give you a little bit of an update just on how things are going. I've tried to throw these in here and there, but because of your generosity to continue giving to our church, we've been able to give away around $2,500 worth of food and gift cards to people that have needed help and that have experienced hardship. And so I just want to thank you for that. I did just stop by our food pantry to look at it right before this video, and it is full right now. It is stocked. You couldn't fit that much more in there. We have lots of canned goods. We have toilet paper. So again, that's because of your generous giving. And if you're sitting there thinking, boy, I could use some of that, that's what it's here for. Or if you know someone. Now, we can't handle all of San Antonio, but, 5, 6, 7 people we can probably take care of before we have to restock it again. So, and we also have other ways to help. So please, I'm looking to help. Well, our church is doing fine. And with our normal giving, I will say, I mentioned this once, but our giving, tithes and offerings, have been right at the same rate that they were before the pandemic. So you have continued to give to the church, to the Lord, and I'm so thankful for that. We have had no drop off. So it's been exactly the same. And I'm very thankful for that, because it's allowed us to be to not have any fear and to just be freely generous. And I'm so thankful for that. As I conclude, I want to just give you a quick encouragement as we tie this up. Anytime there's a light at the end of a tunnel and you see the end is getting close to something and you get a little excited, sometimes you take your foot off the gas pedal. In school, we call that senioritis, right? You're a senior in high school or a senior in college. You see the graduation coming soon, and what do? Instead of running through the tape, going hard till the end, you sort of slack off toward the end and you let some things slide, and maybe your GPA drops a couple of tenths of a percent there. And so my encouragement to you is, as we see some good things happening, as we have a date on our calendar now that we're working back towards, don't stop calling people and checking in on people. Don't stop engaging in Bible study and prayer. Don't stop looking after your fellow church members and neighbors and checking in and saying, hey, are you doing okay? What's going on? We don't want to limp back into our church gathering together. We want to come back in strong, where we've all checked in on each other, and where there's a strong sense of community between us, and it'll be a sweet day, rather than, wow, I haven't heard from anybody in 3 months and now I'm back together with them. So continue to press on until we cross the finish line. Stay strong and power through. And Last thing I would say to you as we close is there is a Zoom prayer meeting every Wednesday night. It's happening tonight, so at 6:30 p.m. Central, and you are invited. I'll provide the link in the description of this very video. So thank you guys for watching and enduring this. I appreciate it. God bless. I'm excited. The day's coming close. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.